I'm Eric Hester. I'm the owner of Umbrella Technology Group. We are a IT provider for small businesses in the upstate of South Carolina. The whole reason I started Umbrella was to try to take the experience I have providing both the telecom and carrier technology support as well as large enterprise support. So I've done work for Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Target, places like that, and typically a small business doesn't have access to that level of experience and that level of support. So what we're doing different, I got this purview of this from when I was at Green Cloud. We saw lots of small businesses all over the country, and a lot of companies similar to this one, they tried to cookie cutter, just, we're gonna give you a firewall, we're gonna give you X number of hours of support, we're gonna come in and do it exactly the way we did it at all the other places. Which really doesn't work for small businesses because every small business has a different use of technology, right? So our goal was to come in and we interview everybody. We try to find out how they're using technology, what works, what doesn't work. And it's not just computers. You'll notice around here even we have things like automation for the lights, security for the doors. As you can see, I'm wearing one of these armbands. This is for our healthcare customers. Now that they have to wear PPE, they can't use their fingerprint or a lot of the eyes and face and things like they were doing to have secure access. So we worked around and found solutions like that. So it's really to try to find innovative solutions that normally would be reserved for big enterprise companies and give them to the small business, and then have a real relationship with the customer, where we're their IT department. We come in unscheduled, just see how things are doing. We have lunch and learns. We'll bring lunch in for them and talk to them about our service and how it's working and not working, because one of the big things is everyone needs to be comfortable with IT, right? So we try to make people comfortable with it so they use it instead of fighting it all the time. I want our service to be tailored to solving that person's IT problems. For example, as COVID has progressed, everyone's gone home, right? There's so much work from home happening. So a lot of what I do is figuring out how the world has changed, how you now use technology, right? Because people make assumptions of, well, this is how when I only worked from home twice a year, this is how I used to do it, and that made sense. Well, that doesn't necessarily make sense for every day, all day. And the same thing for the fact that you used to have a server in your office because you had 20, 30 people in the office. Well, now nobody's in the office. So using the cloud makes a lot more sense now because you're all, on the internet all the time, accessing things. You're not in the local office. Connecting back to your office doesn't make sense. And that's created a lot of new security challenges. That's created a lot of new technology challenges. We've seen in the news people exploiting a lot of these tools that people are using more heavily than they ever have before. So that's one of the things I really try to focus on, is make people understand how they're going to be exploited, right? The person is who gets exploited the most as far as security is concerned. It's much easier to hack a person than it is to hack a computer. We spend a lot of time teaching people about social engineering and how that's become much easier to accomplish now because you're at home and your guard's down and things like that. So I think that's been the biggest challenge and change as part of COVID, is that people are at home, the network challenges that come with that, but then also just the people challenges that come with that. Your mentality is very different when you're sitting at home on the couch or whatever versus being dressed up and sitting at your desk. You allow certain things to happen that you might not have otherwise. This business is built very heavily around empathy, right? Understanding the person we're serving and trying to remove the pain points and make their day better, as opposed to, I'm the smartest technology guy in town, so I'm going to give you the new fresh technology that's going to solve all your problems. Rarely does that actually solve all their problems. It could be that they need a new printer because they've been fighting their printer for 5 years and they just think that's how it's supposed to be. That's one of my big statements I make to people. Tell me the things you've learned to accept about technology so I can tell you don't have to accept them, right? Don't think that there's the way you've been doing it for 10 years that makes you angry is the only way to do something. All right, so that's a big part of what we do. I want to go in and remove all those things, because then I've made a difference, and I think a small business can now be more successful, which I obviously love because that's my background, I want to make more businesses like my own flourish. So that was kind of the background of why we did this.